second place in that number 55, 1981 Crossley 45.
Keep your eye on Lesnett. Unless he's had some suspension damage, I would expect him to start charging back up through the field. The next man he's going to try and repass is Danny Baker. He got around him once, and then as they touched wheels going up the hill, he touched wheels with Shippert, I believe, yes, and he did go off, and Baker got around him. Shippert challenging for the lead on Miller.
Trying to do it on the outside of the Andretti hairpin. Really hard to do, but he can't maintain side by side. But it may give him an advantage coming out. Let's see, can he take advantage of the power he had going in? Nope. He's going to have to tuck in. And meanwhile, it's Danny Baker in third in that Lotus 61.
Lesnett is regrouping and trying to get back up on Danny Baker. We'll see if he can make a move. Looks to the inside as they go through 3 and 4. Can't get it done there. Best place for him to try that would be on the inside of turn 5. Boy, look at Shippert all over the back of Miller as they go into turn 5. Just not close enough to get it done. Has to tuck in behind as Lesnett tucks in behind Danny Baker as they head up the hill. And Parmenteer's making this a 5-car battle.
And this is exactly what they dreamed of when they wanted Formula Ford racing. The idea being that these cars are so equal that the racing competition could be so great, so wheel to wheel, and that's exactly what we've seen. Once again, Shippert comes so close. He knows if Miller just makes one mistake, he's going to be all over him, tucking in as close as he can to the back of that gearbox.
Down the hill one more time. Miller with about 1.5, 2-car length lead as they go down into turn 10. Lesnett closing on Baker. He's going to try and make a move to regain third spot. He might try it when they get up into the Andretti hairpin. You can see Lesnett really slide the car around, almost drifts it around turn 11.
And there's our top 5 as we go into the next lap, going down into that hairpin. Michael Miller continues to lead the way, having taken the lead from Ethan Shippert. Everybody's looking to try and see if they can get a better line, but going through this lap, no one's making a move change. Danny Baker's in third, Bob Lesnett is in fourth, and Thomas Parmentier is in fifth. It's a tight, a Crossley, a Lotus, a tight, and then a Hawk.
You're so tightly grouped, you could throw a blanket over the top 5 and cover them all.
Yeah, Bob Lesnett, who got off the track, was moving up at one point. Now is a little more frustrating. I think he's trying to take a look, but still doesn't have the speed going up the hill.
Well, watch him now as they go over into that turn 5 area. This is where a lot of the passing did take place earlier. A lot of people like to pass on the entrance to turn 5. They'll get on the inside, carry a lot of speed through there, and it gives them more speed going up the hill.
And there we've got the pack that is being led by Ton Willing and Arthur Herbert. And I think Warren Parmentier made a move on Martin Hebert. So I think that position may have changed. But that number 41 is a 1972 Berlin. And there you look on the inside. That is the number 11A of Warren Parmentier trying to take the position back. But he can't quite pull it off as they go down through the corkscrew. And in fact, he's almost coming under attack by Mark Tremco in a 1977 Crossley.
So good battles throughout the pack. We've been focusing primarily on that lead group that is so tight. Those 5 cars separated by 1.3 seconds. Out from turn 11, up the start-finish straightaway one more time. That is a good battle you were talking about, Rick. Those 5 cars are all very close together as well. You can see how much of the pavement they use in this camera shot. They come way out wide in turn 11. And again, the key to a fast lap here at Laguna Seca is a good exit speed out of turn 11. Quick shot of that digital speed readout atop the start-finish bridge shows them at 106 miles an hour, and that speed is measured at the crest of the hill just past start-finish before they start their descent into the Andretti hairpin.
And if you've never had a chance to drive a Formula Ford, I urge you to do it one way or another, whether it's through some kind of driving school or vintage racing, because while the top speed may not be great, the sensation of speed is, as you see the leaders starting to go through some of the back markers. In is it looked like the number 55 of Ethan Shippert has moved back into the lead ahead of Michael Miller. Indeed, he has. Ethan Shippert in the 1981 Crossley 45F has taken the lead back away from Michael Miller. And right behind him is Danny Baker in that 1969 Lotus 61.
Lesnet's still running in the 4th spot, followed by Parmentier, so no change except for the 2 cars in front. Shippert back in the number 1 spot. Miller running in 2nd.
We've got 1 through 4 that have definitely stayed together, but the 5th place car, the car driven by Thomas Parmentier, has drifted back just a little bit. So now it's just a 4-car pack. And there you see Michael Miller trying to figure out if he can take a different line going through the hairpin that might give him an advantage over Ethan Shippert. Remember, Ethan Shippert started this race in the lead, lost it to Michael Miller, and now Michael Miller has lost the lead to Ethan Shippert again.
And Danny Baker, who started 3rd, had actually dropped to 4th as Lesnet had gotten around him, but then Lesnet banged wheels with another car going up into turn 5, went off course, allowed Baker to regain that 3rd spot, and Lesnet is currently running in 4th spot and just can't seem to get close enough to make a move on Baker to regain 3rd. Perhaps there was some damage to his car. Banged wheels got all 4 wheels off the course into the dirt on the exit of 5. They're the leaders going around traffic.
Boy, Ethan
Shippert's making a move on Shippert. He tried.
Shippert took a dive move to get around one of the back markers. I think at first he was going to go to the right, then the last second decided to go to the left. And by the way, the car they just passed was the 49th place car. So they've already lapped about 7 cars, but still they're spread out all over this track. Meanwhile, Shippert has a pretty commanding lead as they come down off of the corkscrew, heading down into turn 11, just heading out onto the front straightaway. And when I say commanding, it's only about 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, I was going to say anything more than 2 car lengths is a commanding lead with this group.
Exactly.
We'll check that gap when they cross the start-finish line as our monitor will update. It's a 0.5 second, 0.576 of a second. Down into the Andretti hairpin one more time. It looks like Shippert is starting to stretch it out a little bit. He's opening that gap even more now as they come out of the Andretti hairpin and go through the infield turns 3 and 4 under the tire bridges and come back out and go up the hill through turn 5.
That number 98 car, that's being driven by Robert Thrall. That's a 1972 Titan Mark 6. Remember, Titan was that company I was telling you about. They built a number of Formula Ford racers. There we see one of them getting off the road just a little bit. But the Mark 6 was a huge seller for Titan. And I think they built something in the range of 300 of those.
Yeah,
and there's even a Titan registry where you can go online and list your Titan and make it a part of the living history, and I should say the living and racing history of the Titan Formula Ford world.
Still lots of good racing throughout the field as you've got them side by side going down into the Andretti hairpin. There's a good battle between 65 and 7. They were wheel to wheel going through the Andretti hairpin. David Cooper in car number 7. That's a Van Diemen BB80 and 65 Bramleth Geyer and a 67 Lotus 51.
And look at this pack as they're coming up through. I mean, there is racing everywhere. And once again, like I said earlier, it doesn't matter whether you're racing for the lead, whether you're racing for 10th, 20th, 30th. We're talking about guys who are in 35th and 36th that they're battling it out right now.
They're battling it out just as if they were battling for the overall lead. You find someone that has got your match speed and you can race with them, and you're going to have a great time out there.
And the great thing is you get the opportunity to learn how to race. That's what these cars allow you to do because they're so equal. It becomes looking at other people's driving styles and seeing what you front Baker and Miller, a situation where the Lotus 61 is right behind Michael Miller. For a moment, they had swapped positions on the last lap, but now Michael Miller has taken it back with that number 13 of Danny Baker in the 1969 Lotus 61. Now, this is where, once again, Baker had the position, but the 93 of Michael Miller and that Titan Mark 6 took it back.
And Lesnett pretty much has given up hope, I think, of battling with Baker and Miller, and is content to settle for fourth spot at this point. They possibly damaged the suspension a little bit when he did bang wheels with the car in the exit of turn 5, forcing it to go all four wheels to the wall.
And you've got to be cautious. Remember, this is vintage racing. While the goal is to win, the goal is to get, move up as much as you can. They really frown on doing damage to each other. So as a result, you don't want to bang wheels too much, especially cause damage and cause a situation where somebody can be hurt.
Shepard has used the traffic to his advantage and now pulled out a huge lead, probably close to 2 seconds.
And we understand that was the checkered flag. We have a hard time seeing the flag stand from here, but that's the checkered flag. It's Ethan Shepard in that 1981 Crossley 45F will take the victory. He was in the lead at the start of the race, lost it briefly, and then gained it back. Michael Miller in that Titan Mark 6 will finish second. Danny Baker in the Lotus 61. Bob Lesnett, who had a pretty exciting race early on in the 1973 Titan Mark 6, and Thomas Parmentier will finish fifth in a 1971 Hawk DL2B.
Todd Willing, sixth in the Merlin Mark 20A, car 41, followed by Martin Lauber, number 5, a 70 Titan Mark 6A. Then Laurent Parmentier, 11A, Crossley 1620F, Arthur Hebert, 1986, Titan Mark 6, and Mark Jaremko completes the top 10 in car 101, a 77 Crossley 35F.
Reminder, we're going to get about a 15-minute break between races, so there'll be a little bit of a break, chance to go off and get a snack and maybe check the concession stands, buy yourself a great WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca shirt during the brief break we have, and then we'll get back to the racing action after that 15-minute break with Group 4B. All right, check some of the highlights of that last race that came off, that Formula Ford race that was exciting from first through 56. And as they went down into that first turn, it was quite a pack, but Ethan Shepard in that Crossley took the lead and held on to it, but boy, they were tooth and nail the first few laps. Michael Miller trying to take a look to the inside, but Shepard had nothing of it. He kept hanging on. And it wasn't a perfect day. A couple cars did go off. The good news is we only had one full course yellow. Once they got running again, though, 93 of Michael Miller looked to the inside of Ethan Shepard, took the position away. And then there was a battle in behind, that number 110 car, Bob Lesnett. He was working hard, trying to catch up to the lead pack, but once again, just a little too much got off the track, and as a result, it wasn't quite as smooth as he liked. And from that point on, he wasn't quite as strong. As they came up through the back markers, look at the evasive maneuvers as they were going around. That was Ethan Shepard in the front who dove to the left. And Michael Miller was able to take the lead at one point, but then had to give it up. And then Michael Miller lost the position to the number 13 of Danny Baker, but he was able to get second back when he was able to do it at the Andretti hairpin. And when it was all over, Ethan Shepard in that 1981 Crossley 45F took the victory here in the vintage Formula Ford race from 1967 to 1981. The Crossleys, the Titans, Lotus, Merlins, Lolas, everything you could possibly imagine from all of those manufacturers. And remember, 56 cars entered this race. It's a great way if you're going to go historic racing to do it.